Hello friends, it's Mary back from Rocky Mountain Gardens and welcome to my channel, especially anyone new. And I want to say thank you to all my subscribers who've been so generous in giving me a thumbs up and also subscribing and leaving comments. I love reading your comments. So thank you for stopping by again. And today we are having a tour of my home with my fall decorations. So I hope you will enjoy the tour. And hey, have you started doing any decorating yet for the fall? I know it's a little bit early because fall starts, I think, around September 21st. But you know, I do a really big decoration of my entire main level for Christmas. So I have to start that after after Halloween in order for it to be done in time for the holidays. So guys, let's jump into our tour. Let's begin here at my front door, which you can see is in the style of the Craftsman movement. And my large gallery wall here with almost entirely thrifted pieces. And I wanted to share with you one of my latest paintings. This one, of course, was thrifted, but isn't it perfect for fall? Love the color of the roof of that house. Now going up my steps here, I've used my Crocs that I've been collecting from thrift stores for some fall color, and of course a little scarecrow. And then up here on my landing, I have added some color to this pillar that I refinished some time ago. You may have seen that video where I did that. And then a couple of pumpkins, of course. And I can't forget to share with you this little shelf that I always have decorated by my front door with a little copper pot that's from Turkey when I was traveling, when I lived in Europe. And I have a little fox right there. Isn't he darling? And I just wanted to share with you this beautiful tall painted wooden plate, and my aunts gave it to me years ago actually, and isn't it pretty? I love toll painting. So as we swing around here to my living room space, there's my couch with some fall pillows. And guys, I wanted to show you this new table that I purchased at Goodwill. Isn't it gorgeous, this vintage table? It has a leather top, and it does have some scratches and damage. I'm still contemplating about whether I should paint it or not. Let me know in the comments down below. Should I keep it as is, or should I do some restoration and perhaps a paint job on it? I'd love to hear your opinion. Now over here I have one of my oil lamps and a little scarecrow, and then a black crow, which you know is always part of Halloween decorations. I actually don't decorate much for Halloween myself. I like to keep it in a sort of a generic fall look. Although I do have a turkey there. Isn't he darling? And guys, this little ceramic piece I actually bought when I was on a trip to Israel in the town of Jaffa. There's an artist colony there, and that was one of my souvenirs that I bought from that. And take a look at this gorgeous little robin figurine. Isn't it cute? It's just another part of my figurine collection. We're looking now at the shelf above my television, and up here you can see the wooden bread plate that I got from the time I lived in Germany. And on this old antique drawer, I have more figurines. This cute little one, it looks like a Hummel, but it isn't. It's actually sort of a copy of the style of Sister M.I. Hummel. Here's a little fall girl carrying her autumn pieces. A little scarecrow, and he is actually a bell. And then here's this really beautiful old clock that I thrifted as well. And then, you know, in this corner, if you've been on one of my tours before, you know that I always have some house plants because it gets some good sunlight from the window to the right. And this Sansevieria here has grown like a weed, actually. But, oh, I just love it in the corner there. Then on the side table here, I have a cute orange colored doily with a precious little fox made of sisal right there. Isn't it darling? I do love those sisal animal figures. And here's the love seat that is in my living room as well. And an ottoman. I really like this ottoman because I can store blankets in it. So let's take a walk now. I'm going to look over here at my banister where I have a orange berry wreath, which I just found thrifting last weekend. Goes well in this room. And then we're going to come across here to the dining area. You probably noticed that I have quite a few candles going. Some are real and some are artificial or, you know, faux candles. But I just love the warmth that candles give to the fall season. And I have to share with you this fantastic bird cage that I found thrifting recently also, probably within the last month. Isn't it something else? Oh my goodness, I just couldn't believe when I saw it sitting on the shelf. I had to rush to grab it before anyone else did. But oh my goodness, it is just so pretty. Let me walk around here so you can get a better look at the detail on this cage. Now over there on my mirror, I have an autumn leaf garland and another wreath that I got thrifting. And this is a saying from Corinthians that I think is something we should all remember. Let all that you do be done in love. That's a very inspirational sentiment for us all. Let's take a look at the top of my hutch here, where I have a cute little owl with his spectacles on. I have some oil lamps up there and a give thanks sign, which is something I need to always remember every day, to be thankful for and grateful for all the blessings in my life. Back over here on this wall, there is the cabinet that always stays there. Sometimes I change out the pictures that are on it. And I've made a very abundant floral arrangement here in this little bucket. And gosh, guys, here's another sisal fox. Isn't he awesome? I just adore him in that reddish color. Fits in with the season perfectly. I put my big ceramic turkey down below here with a really unusual doily. And if we step aside over this way, on this sofa cabinet right here, you can see some greenery. I have said this before, but I always like to include something green with the orange and the yellows and the reds of autumn. I just think they complement each other quite well. And friends, take a look at this precious figurine, a mother doe and her baby, just like the story of Bambi. But oh my goodness, when I saw that, that was another item on the shelf at the thrift store that I had to grab quickly. I have these wonderful scented candles burning that bring in that feeling of autumn. And like I said, some faux candles as well. And lastly, here's a little look at the corner here where I display quite a few of my picture collection and some books. I'm always picking up new books at the thrift store. Next, let's move into my kitchen and library rooms. On the little chair here, we have an apple and my crock with lots of rolling pins and a cute little autumn apron, pumpkin spice and everything nice, draped right here on this small chair. And on my green cabinet here, I left my Thrifted mirror here on this cabinet, but I added another fox. Take a look at him. Now, he's kind of a gray colored fox, and the reason I don't have an autumn fox in this room is because my decorating theme is actually apples. Now, that's going to be hard to tell here in my little shelf where I display my seasonal salt and pepper shakers. But there they are, owls, leaves, pumpkins, and remember to have faith. And as we go around the room, you'll see that I've gone with a lot of red colors to go with the apple theme. So on my island here, I have a red pumpkin and a little girl. You may have seen her in one of my past videos, a little girl mouse who is watering her beautiful sunflowers. She is so sweet. And guys, take a look at the perfect runner that I came across at the Ark thrift store. It just goes with my theme perfectly. So I'm gonna swing around this direction. Let's take a look at the top of my fridge. I have a sign up there about autumn, leaves falling, warm colors, and holidays around the corner. And a red checkered cloth in my basket. I decided to change out my basket display up on top of my cabinets and do something a little bit different. So I left up a few of the baskets, but added some other pieces like the farmer's tin that you see over there on the right, one of my oil lamps, and this beautiful Johnson Brothers platter that I got thrifting, Longaberger baskets, and look at this great tin, beautiful red color to go with my apple theme, and a beautiful bowl that Jane, I always have to remember her, she's a good friend of mine, stepmother who passed away, but she was a lovely lady. And then coming across, I have another Longaberger basket up here with some daisies. And then over here on my fridge, I have a 1977 calendar made of cloth that I've thrifted, of course. And then in my coffee bar, I introduced some red, and I found this. This is like a ceramic apple, very heavy, and it looks so cute there on my coffee bar space. And guys, I have a couple of refrigerator dishes here. This I bought in an antique store in Missouri when I was home visiting. And then I got this at a antique store here in town. And I had been looking for one of those red little Pyrex refrigerator dishes because my mother, the entire time I was growing up, stored her bacon grease in a container just like that. And we always used bacon grease to cook with. Didn't matter what the subject was. It had bacon involved in some way. Now on my stove, I found this fantastic copper kettle thrifting. Can you believe it? I just couldn't hardly believe it. I think it was about $5.99. What a steal. Was I ever thrilled. And then I got out my Better Homes and Gardens cookbook to find an apple pie recipe. Perfect apple pie. You wouldn't believe it, guys. I looked through Southern Living cookbooks, Gooseberry Patch cookbooks, and several others that I have on my shelf. And it took me going here to Better Homes and Gardens to find a very perfect recipe for my theme. Over here in the corner, I have a couple of thrifted wooden bowls. I'm always on the lookout for them when I am shopping out and about in the thrift stores, and I have been lucky enough to find just a couple. So here we are with my stove, and over here is the sinks area where I do all my dishes, of course, and I have some cuttings in the window there you can see. I'm also babysitting this basil plant for my friend. And then over here on this side of my counter, I have this lovely crock with apples that are, I think it's a decal on the front, but perfect for my theme, and an apple pitcher that I had come across, and a cute little owl. Isn't it darling? And a ceramic pumpkin going with the blue or turquoise pumpkins, as you can see, so they don't clash with my apple theme. And an apple cider sign hanging there in that little area. Now walking over here into my library, up above the clock, I have this little cabinet that I thrifted in Refinished. It has a little apple on the top with a vintage hanky falling out of the drawer. We have a vintage print right here in this frame of different colors of apples. And those little ducks always remind me of the autumn time of year. And guys, on this checkered tablecloth, I have a Watts apple bowl that I was able to thrift. I have some lovely amber bottles. Another Watts apple small little custard cup, I think it would be. And then some jadeite salt and pepper shakers to go with the red. And then, you know, I have my wall of books here. Over in my basket, I've added a couple of pumpkins and a tiny apple. There is a orange pumpkin up there. A teapot that I think fits the season. This is where I keep all of my cookbooks. Another teapot right here. It's a figural teapot of an antique store. In this little picture, I like to keep my collection I've started of bookmarks, trying to collect from around America and around the world if I, happen to travel like that. A couple more pumpkins. A pumpkin pillow. There's that beautiful faux Tiffany lamp that my daughter gave me. And a red lantern to go with the color of red. There's my magazine rack, which I refinished in this. I really like this arrangement that I put together with apple branches. You might be able to see a few apples peeking out there. Over here is my new bookcase that I got off Marketplace for just $20. It was sort of a cherry red color and I painted it black since I'm not really fond of red woods, at least not in my own decor. And then interestingly over here, I have an apple little tablecloth or a dresser scarf maybe, I'm not quite sure, that I thrifted, but I also have another Watts apple piece here. And if you look at it carefully, it says, Super Service Garage, Volney Warner, 30 years your friendly Ford dealer, Woonsocket, South Dakota, which is the town that my in-laws came from. And actually, this Volney Warner was my father-in-law's father. It's another thrifted clock. And I have a small stack of picnic baskets right here hiding behind this table. And I like using red pillows on my reclining chairs for comfort when I'm reading in the evening. And lastly, let's finish looking at my fireplace. On the mantle, I have some mostly red books, a thrifted mirror and one antler, a green pumpkin, and a red toolbox, which is pretty vintage. It's actually mine, but I've had it since I was quite young. And then I have this candelabra that I was able to find at an antique store, and I snatched it right up also. And lastly is this pretty wreath that I made quite a few years ago, and I like it hanging above my mantelpiece. It's up there all year except for when I take it down at Christmas time. And then we'll walk back out here to my library for a chance for me to say goodbye to you and thank you so much for stopping by today. I'm very glad to have you here with me, and I'd love to hear what you think about my tour. Just drop a comment down below. And if you feel like you enjoyed this tour, give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It's always wonderful to feel the love that you all give me by stopping by my channel. So until the next time, this is Mary saying bye for now.